Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week, as well as news, updates, questions, answers, the Andrewcutter Battle Royale, and everything that falls in between. So this week was a pretty big week, a lot of sweet, succulent comics to get into. In particular, the thing I was looking forward to the most this week was Forever Evil issue number 6 of 7 because it is the ultimate fate of Nightwing. Which is pretty important because Nightwing is my third favorite comic book character of all time. Saying that, we're not talking about Forever Evil, at least not just yet. We're going to start where we always start, with just a little bit of Batman in our life, with Detective Comics issue number 29. The end of John Layman's run on Detective Comics, and the end of his final story arc, Gothatopia. The basic gist of this is exactly what you would think. Batman is fighting the effects of Scarecrow's hallucinogenic Wonderland kind of toxin that he has on Batman, and while at the same time he has to free Gotham and not hurt his friends in the process, who are under the control of Scarecrow. And that's the basic gist. He has to save Gotham and deal with the fact that all his friends are basically being manipulated and controlled by Batman. Uh, so we might as well jump into the good, the bad, of whether or not you should get it. Good. I felt as though the final few pages were a nice send off for John Layman's run on Batman. I do like the fact that Scarecrow got a nice push in. Scarecrow's been getting a good push throughout the DC universe with Forever Evil for his stuff in Dark Knight and his stuff right now in Detective Comics. Scarecrow is, I mean, if he was a heel right now in WWE, he'd be getting a major push. Bad as I felt as though the story was kind of lackluster. I mean, Gothatopia on its own was just not a great story. It wasn't bad by any means, but really didn't offer or bring anything great to the table. Uh, on a whole, though, it was a good issue. I'll give this a 3 out of 5. It's not the best end to John Layman's run, and it's kind of a quiet end too. It's not like it summed up his whole entire run in one single solitary issue. No, it's just kind of the end of his run. In saying that, I will miss him as the writer on Detective Comics. Detective Comics really focused on what Batman does best, and that's his work. And there was a lot of great story arcs with him, along with Jason Fabok's art, who jumped off the book some time ago. But still, like the Ray storyline was one of my favorites, taking a great silver, Bronze Age character and revitalizing him. It's bittersweet because the next creative team is Brian Buccellato, the Bush, and Francis Manapul. So, on a whole, we're getting something good out of it. Batman: The Dark Knight, issue number 28. This issue is the start of the final story for this comic. This comic is getting canceled. Sad because it's been a roller coaster ride of stories. It's had its ups and downs, but ever since Greg Hurwitz jumped onto it, it was a great comic, which focused on a lot of Legend of the Dark Knight feeling to it, which is Batman dealing with a lot of his rogue gallery and do fun little miscellaneous stories. Some great stories with the Scarecrow, Clayface, probably the best story that I've seen for the Mad Hatter. So a lot of good stuff on here, along with some great art. And this is basically dealing with the Man Bat, but not Kurt Langstrom's Man Bat, but another Man Bat. More powerful and more deadly than before. Good, I do like how I love the art in it. I thought the art was really good. It's been the same art as Ethan Van Skiffer, and I hope I said that right. I'm horrible with pronunciations. Uh, he has a great tone and look for Batman, but the art in this was really good. I in particular like how Alfred is concerned for Batman because Man Bat is unlike any of his other villains. It's a complete opposite of Batman, not just in name, but in all concepts. Batman is law and order. Man Bat is chaos and savagery. Is the way Alfred describes it a lot better, and it leaves off on a nice cliffhanger because it shows that this Man Bat is not to be screwed around with. Bad, I mean, while they did go into detail about the bad guy's backstory, they made him a relative of Langstrom, and it just seems kind of shoot-in and convenient and contrived. But besides that, it's a solid story. So 4 out of 5. Moving on to the next Batman comic, Superman Batman Annual Issue Number 1. So Mongrel's son comes to Earth, and basically War World is being controlled by a council of dicks, for lack of a better term, and Mongrel's son is actually trying to help out Earth because he's interested in the people that have killed his father. Not killed, but defeated his father. So Superman and Batman grab their team together of some of their family members, which consists of Steel, Red Hood, Batgirl, and Supergirl, to take on Warworld. So on to the good, the bad, one, the night. You should get it. Good. I do like the idea of the family members that were chosen. Batman chose Red Hood because, well, Red Hood's willing to do the dark, dirty stuff that some other Batman family members are not willing to do. And Batman doesn't kill, Red Hood does. And while these are aliens, I'm sure Batman would still be opposed to killing them, but not quite as much as, say, something like a human. But still, fact of the matter remains is it's logical that he chose him. Batgirl kind of just jumped in the last second. Steel being chosen for his intellect was a good idea, and then Supergirl just because it's Supergirl, another Kryptonian helps out. So I thought the choices were good. The art in it was great, although, we jumped from Jane Lee to Kenneth Rocafort to Philip Tan. We got a lot of jumping. The art was really good. I enjoyed the concept and the idea. I like Mongrel's son, and it kind of leaves off on a cliffhanger with what's going to happen with Mongrel. Bad, none. This was a solid story, start to finish. It gets a 5 out of 5. Uh, Boom. Moving on to Batwing issue number 29. So, Batwing's, uh, I almost said cousin, his sister, basically got drugged up a lot and she's in super coma. And Batwing, of course, does not take this well and goes off on vengeance tirade. And he breaks a lot of bones and hurts a lot of people doing it. And that's the basic gist. The is Batwing going out trying to basically save his other sister and figure out what's going on and get revenge. And there you go. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Action was good in there, art was good in this, and the overall motion and tension was good in this. Bad, the only bad I can feel is that it's a little bit of a quick read. It flies really fast. Don't really get a chance to savor anything in this. And again, another Undercity civilization living in Gotham. How many of those have we had since the New 52? But at least Batwing kind of comments on it, and he thinks, why is there a city under our city? This makes no sense. But yeah, on the whole, I will give this a 4 out of 5. Forever Evil Arkham War issue number 6 of 6. This is the end of this story arc, and basically it's all the Venom up villains. Venom up villains. Say that 3 times fast. Venom up. Yeah, I can't do it. Venom up villains. That Scarecrow gets together to fight Bane, and an epic throwdown, and it kind of shows why Bane is just such a dominant individual. Uh, and yeah, that's the basic gist. I'm not gonna go into too much on what happens at the end. All I do have to say is they do incorporate Bane's collared jacket from the Batman Dark Knight Rises movie in this, which is kind of cool. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, some solid action. This Bane is shown to be the badass that he is, and it's a nice little throwdown and some pretty fun art. Although I do have to say the Venom up villain kind of look I don't know, a little too big and a little too jacked up. And there was one artistic mistake, and I forget where it was, but it's basically Bane gets picked up by Man Bat, and then the next panel you see him on the ground fighting people, and then the next panel you see him being carried by Man Bat. But putting that aside, the art was very good, and the writing was good. So the only bad about this is it kind of ends off on a meh, and we didn't get this big war that I was hoping for. We get Bane kind of just fighting everyone. I wanted to see a lot more of Bane and his men and the Talons fight everyone. Putting that aside, it's a good comic. Leaves a lot to be desired with this ending, but there is going to be a one-shot Batman versus Bane, which deals with basically the aftermath of this. 3.5 out of 5. Next is She-Hulk issue number 2. So this is She-Hulk kind of dealing with her own little attorney office that she has, and in addition to that, her kind of realizing what kind of attorney that she needs to be, and she teams up with another superhero who, God knows, I don't even know their name. I don't know Marvel characters well enough. I should because I've seen them before. I just don't know them, and they do this all while drunk. And it leaves off on a kind of a good cliffhanger. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I thought the pacing was good, the writing was pretty well done, and I loved the cliffhanger. Bad is, I really felt the cliffhanger should have been done last issue, and I thought there was I don't know, thought there wasn't enough action in this. I mean, I understand She-Hulk is a completely different kind of character from the Hulk, but I would have liked to see a little bit more power and kick. And I'm not a big fan of the art. That's just me. I like the art on the covers. The covers are really nice, but I'm not a big fan of the art in general. I can't tell you why. I mean, I'm sure the artist is a great artist and all that, but I'm just not a fan of the art. Maybe it's the nose. I think it's the nose and how everyone looks high with their eyes. But putting that aside, this was a decent issue. Uh, like I said, the cliffhanger is really what gets at you, so I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. And excuse me, I have a Snapple. Green Lantern issue number 29. There is no hope. Uh, a chunk of this is Saint Walker talking to Moko about hope and does he have any left and all that fun shit. Another chunk of this is Hal Jordan actually thinking things through. One is he meets up with his brother and he tells him, listen, I gotta leave Earth for some time. The space sector is being controlled by the Red Lanterns, which means nothing to his brother because his brother doesn't understand the concept of the Red Lanterns. He says, I'm gonna leave one Green Lantern here on Earth to protect Earth, and that will be this guy, Simon Baz. Which is kind of cool. We actually see Simon Baz. For a character that was pumped up so much, we haven't really got too much to deal with him. So I like to see him. And then it's also Hal sitting down with a bunch of Green Lanterns, probably some of the closest, minus John Stewart. I forget where John Stewart is right now. Obviously, he's doing his side stuff in Green Lantern Corps, but I'm surprised he's not part of these Green Lanterns. But he basically says, listen, I am a fighter pilot. That's what I am, or a test pilot. I'm a damn good one, but I'm not a leader of an intergalactical space squad. And I often think based off reaction. I don't think things through sometimes because if you think things through as a test pilot, you get killed. If you react, you save your life. So I need you guys to keep me grounded. I need you guys to be my voices of reason when I have none. So that basically happens, and the war continues. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Robin Venditti is writing Hal Jordan in a great way, and I think he does a very good service to Hal Jordan in showing the character growth. And he's writing kind of Hal the way I would write Hal, too. The art was beautiful in this, and the pacing was spot on, and I'm really getting pumped up for this big war that they're having with this alien race, which name escapes me. Bad, none. All the little pieces that have been set up by Robin Venditti is really just taking hold, and Green Lantern's book is starting to turn into a better and better book. I'm enjoying it more now than I did a couple issues ago, but I feel as though everything's building up in a great way. And one of you guys asked me who did I like better, Jeff Johns and Robin Venditti, and I said it's unfair to do that because Jeff Johns had 9 years of Green Lantern, Robert's not even had a year. But in saying that, he's doing a very fun and interesting job with Green Lantern right now, so I'm going to give this comic a 5 out of 5. Pick it up. Green Lantern has really turned out to be a fun ride, and I like how all the titles are tied together, but you don't have to read all the titles. So it's beneficial to read them alone or together. Ms. Fury, issue number 9. So, yeah, Miss Fury's doing a lot of jumping back and forth, and eventually she makes a deal with the devil. To get the love of her life back, she has to assassinate someone. However, it doesn't quite work out the way she wants it to. Will Miss Fury be able to pull the trigger, or will unfortunately the trigger be pulled on her? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The art is really nice in this. I said from the get-go, Miss Fury has had great art. I particularly like how her costume has kind of that latexy look to it. It has a shine or a glow on it. I feel as though I understand the story a lot better, and I kind of want to read this all together so I can understand it on a whole. It's a pity that this comic is getting canceled because it's starting to get more fun. It's starting to get better. But in saying that, individually these issues were confusing as all hell. So, and I'm really curious to see where this is ultimately going because it's like we're getting fragments of how all this shit happened. Bad. Oh, another good is I do like the ending where she kind of feels bad because she killed herself and she's doing a lot of really sketchy, shady things to get the love of her life back. Bad, nothing really. This was a nice issue. I'm curious to see what happens in the next issue, and I'll say this is a 4 out of 5. Didn't wow me, but it's still pretty good. Swamp Thing issue number 29. So in this issue, Swamp Thing meets up with a group called the Sureen. I hope I said that right. Sureen. And they're basically servants to the Avatar of the Green. And he's like, I never heard of these assholes before. But the older avatars are like, oh no, they're cool, they're legit. So Swamp Thing's like, hey, whatever, I'll do it. So they basically help him out. And one of the things that they offer him is the ability for him to be in a human body and for the avatar body just to kind of chill. And he says, wow, that's actually kind of cool. I think I'll go do it. Oh, and he makes like some kind of weird fruit that everyone trips out on. So that's the basic gist of this is they show up and they offer him a lot and he kind of wants to go with it. But is it a good idea? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. This comic has been better and better with each issue. So much fun, and it has its own kind of tone and feeling to it that just works out beautifully. Um, the art is fantastic. The stories that are going on is pretty good. The only bad I could say about this is the ending's a bit predictable. A bit predictable. But besides that, it is a great story. 4.5 out of 5. Swamp Thing, pick it up. Oh god, my contact is blurring up. Phantom Stranger, Forever Evil tie-in. So we're continuing the Forever Evil Blight story, although it's kind of dropped Blight and it's just Forever Evil. So Phantom Stranger, Pandora, and the blind psychic, whatever her name is, are now working together, and they need to find a way to tip the balance in their favor to fight against Felix Faust and Nick Necro. And Phantom Stranger says, hey, I kind of have a buddy-buddy bromance going on with Trigon's kids. Let's go do it there. Obviously, he doesn't say it that way. Meets up with the kids and basically, both of them get into arguments back and forth. But it comes down to this. As Stranger says, I will do whatever you want in order to get you guys to work with me. And they give him a big decision, and how it's done is just awesome. I'm not even going to bother with the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Phantom Stranger has been such a fun ride. It's on the cusp of the bubble right now being canceled. Still going on, but boy, every bit of this comic has been fun. I have just enjoyed it more and more with each issue. 5 out of 5. Pick this bad boy up. Moving on to Warlord of Mars. Oh, Warlord. Yeah, Warlord of Mars. For some reason, I want to say Warlords. Warlord of Mars, issue number 34. So, Dynamite's going to be doing a huge issue 100 special, and when that happens, it happens. But, Yeah, this issue is continuing the story arc of who is really possessing the body of Deja Thoris's grandfather, and how exactly can you defeat him, and what in the past contributed to them being this way. And yeah, that's the basic gist. John Carter goes to some great extremes to find out the solutions to these problems, or the solution to these questions. So much so it involves a villain of his past, or at least a piece of them. Read and see, you'll understand. Good, bad, whether or not you should get. This story arc has been really, really fun from start to finish. Very great serial, high fantasy, sci-fi kind of tone to it. The art has been beautiful. I've really been enjoying the art. The first few issues had better art. I think they changed up the artist, or at least I could have swore they changed up the artist because the characters do look different. They are wearing slightly different colors, but the art has been good through and through. And the villain's methodology and is what drives him is great too. And he's not just I'm going to conquer the world and be a dick. No, he actually has kind of a backstory to him. Bad None, Warlord of Mars, issue number 34, 5 out of 5. Moving on to Action Comics, issue number 29. So this is the end of Greg Pak's first story arc with Superman Action Comics, which will then lead into the next one because it's going to be a seamless transition. This ends all the stuff with the Underworld, with Baka, with Lana. It kind of ends all that stuff and ties it up. I don't want to reveal what happens, but it does kind of have a sad ending to it. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Similar to what I said with the last issue, this creative team of Andrewcutter and Greg Pak has been a great team. Greg, well, I don't care for what he's doing. Well, I do not like how he portrays the relationship between Superman and Batman. He does a very good job at portraying who Superman should be. A great balance of the classic Superman and the new Superman, the edgier one. The art is beautiful in this. I think it also has a great lead in and it has a lot of emotion to it. This is a great issue. It gets a 5 out of 5. Pick it up. Oh god, this contact is killing me. Or maybe it's this one. No, it's definitely this one. Um, Captain America issue number 18. So we get to learn about, oh god, what's his name? Doctor or Mr. Mind Bubble? What silly ass villain. Captain America and Falcon are basically going to the headquarters of the villain to fight him and take him on so he can protect Steel, Shield, and save all the people in there. Go, Captain. Good. I know that was a horrible summary, but that's the basic gist. Captain America is going to go fight the big bad and save the people. Uh, Good. I thought this does a good portrayal of Captain America, as it has been with Remender's run. I like Jet in this for the very few bits that she's in, and I like seeing Cap and Falcon team up. Bad is a little predictable, and it kind of follows the flow so well. I mean, putting aside that this is completely different kind of villain and different kind of story. It's the same kind of story, just with a different villain. That makes sense. I mean, you could have taken anyone and replaced it. You could have put Doctor Doom in there, or you could put Green Goblin or anyone, and it would have been relatively the same. So it doesn't really have too much of a different feel to it. But it's still a good comic, so I'll give it 4 out of 5. Next is Green Arrow, issue number 29. The Outsiders War. Is this book ramping up, and what a freaking cliffhanger this has. It's Green Arrow, 5 out of 5. What can I say? Uh, Pick it up. Green Arrow has just like suddenly turned around and become such a great character in a lot of forms of media, not only with the comic book but the show Arrow too. Just awesome. Earth 2, issue number 21. So Superman's still going around and screwing people up, and basically the resistance, for lack of a better term. I just want to say the people that are opposed to what's going on the World Army and Batman's little group of superheroes and you know Aquawoman, all that. Wait, she doesn't recognize that name. All kind of consolidating to work together to somehow take on Superman, who defeated the World Army in like a day. Um, Good. I love the tension that's going on with this. I like how Aquawoman's getting a little bit more exposure. Um, and I also loved how Superman just totally dismantled Atom Smasher. Atom Smasher shows up and Superman beats the living shit out of him. Beats the living shit out of him. Bad is that I feel as though there's some characters just really haven't had um, I don't know, a big enough role in the story arc. Mainly Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. Mind you, I know Green Lantern is going to be showing up again, but it would have been nice to see a little bit more of him. On a whole, this is a 4.5 out of 5. Really fun. Really fun. And last but certainly not least, Forever Evil issue number 6 of 7. I'm going to try to make this as spoiler free as I can, but it's basically the Injustice League versus the Justice League. I mean, the Injustice League versus the Crime Syndicate and their big throwdown. The stars of this go to Black Manta and Captain Cold that show why they're so dangerous and so smart and badass. And the Crime Syndicate, when going up against people that aren't heroes, find out that they may not have as much of a chance as beforehand. They were able to defeat these people individually, but together, I mean, are they able to defeat a team of these guys? I mean, to be fair, the Crime Syndicate, the only way they actually beat the Justice League were they caught them off guard. Pretty sure if the Justice League fought the Crime Syndicate, they'd have a chance. In addition to that, we learn the final fate of Nightwing, which we really don't learn the final fate of Nightwing. But it's leaning more towards he's probably not going to die. He can just get a new identity, which I'm fine with. I don't want Nightwing to die. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. However, it's probably going to go to that because the way it works out perfectly. And at the same time, it I think it's also DC trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want to kill off Nightwing as a character, but not kill him off. You're gonna have to read it and see. And like I said, I don't want to spoil too much. But in saying that, Forever Evil has been a fantastic story that I think really should have been bi-weekly rather than monthly. But it really has done a great job of mixing things up and doing things differently while telling a very similar story. And I want to also say I fucking called it on who was under the hood. Although there was a twist with it, I knew it was going to be that person. I just didn't expect them to be have the ability that they did. But 5 out of 5. As for my picks of the week, I gotta just go through these real quickly. Let's go with you. Actually, yeah. I had to just think there's two comics that I kind of wanted to put over each other. Um, Number 3 goes to Superman Batman or Batman Superman annual. Like I said, it was a good annual, well written, and although I would like Greg Pak to have Superman and Batman not be as big of a dicks to each other, it's been a fun ride. Next is Forever Evil issue number 6 of 7. Again, keeping the ramped up energy on this comic, and in addition to that, I really do like the fact that it's mixing things up. That is great. But my number one pick goes to Green Arrow issue number 29. Really has been such a fun run with Green Arrow, and I want to see more the story. The Green Arrow. Not much in the ways of news or updates that I can think of. I really should. I've been lacking. Video game wise, I've bought Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which has been a joy to play. enjoy playing. And I am still playing Bravely Default. I'm not grossly far in it. It's a long game, but I'm playing it here and there. And oh, with the Scribblenaught Unlimited stuff, I have been picking up the minifigures. So I bought a total of 6, one of which I gave away because I had a copy of it. I bought 2 when they first came out, and I got Wonder Woman, which I was very pleased with, and Superman, which I was very pleased with. So I'm like, shit, I got 2 of the big ones. I'm like, all I need is Batman, and I'm happy. So I bought another one, and I got Deadman. Like, okay, not bad. I mean, it's Deadman, but I would have liked Batman. And I bought a 4th one, and it was another Deadman. So I just said to the guy, "You keep it. I don't want it. I'm not gonna use it." Then I bought a 5th one, and I got Black Manta, which is pretty badass. But again, I'm looking for Batman. What's going on? And eventually you can be like, I'll just buy them online, but I don't want to do that. I like the mystery, the unknown. So one day on the way back from work, I said to myself, self, I'm going to go into GameStop and I'm just going to pick one up and see. I'm going to game two. And I felt the bag before I opened it. I'm like, ooh, this head is very smooth. I bet this is another Dead Man. And I was going to be livid. They're not cheap. They're like $3.99. And lo and behold, I got Batman. I was so happy because I got the bat. And the Scribble Knot things are very cute. I want to get Aquaman. He's kind of last one of the puzzle that I have to get, but at least in the first wave. But I'm really happy that I got the Trinity, and then I got a few extras. Might go out and get another pack today. You never know. But yeah, I've been checking out on that stuff. Let's get into let's get into the Andrewcutter Battle Royale. I'm going to just pause it for a second. One moment. Okay, time for the Andrewcutter Battle Royale for the week. Basically, for those of you that don't know, I take 2 fictional characters, pit them together, and I will determine who wins. And I like to take your suggestions for them. So recently, I've been doing nothing but that. And today's suggestion is going to come from last week's comments. Derek Lucari, and I hope I said your name right. If I butchered it, I apologize. Who suggested why not do Bane versus Venom? So we're going to do Bane versus Venom. Let us start things up. And we're going to go with Venom first. And there's been multiple Venoms. The Venom I most know is Eddie Brock. I believe right now Flash Thompson is Venom, who's working with what? Not the Thunderbolts. Maybe it was the Thunderbolts. Anyways, there's been multiple different Venoms, but I'm gonna go with good old Eddie Brock because he's the one that I know the best. If you guys don't like that choice, well, you guys can all suck it. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, but that's the only Venom I really know well. As Venom with the symbiote suit, uh, basically Eddie Brock or Venom can do many different things. He has a lot of the powers and abilities that Spider-Man has. For example, super speed, strength, healing. He has web slinging, which is a natural thing rather than using an actual weapon. Not weapon, but gadget. He has a spider sense. He also has immunity to spider senses, and he can also create semi constructs with the symbiote. And that speed, strength, and durability is similar to that of Spider-Man's. His only real weakness is sonic devices. Now, I could be wrong, there might be more, but certain vibrations will cause the symbiote to fall off the individual. That and Eddie Brock isn't really too smart of a guy. He's easy to anger, and he's not a tactical master at all. His biggest advantage in this fight is just he outclasses Bane when it comes down to overall stats of strength, speed, durability, healing factor, all that kind of fun stuff. Bane, on the other hand, Bane is the only man to ever truly defeat Batman, to break him in will, in physicalness, and in spirit. Bane is a master tactician. He spent most of his life in prison, being born in prison, and from there he read, he learned, he grew, and like I said, he became a master tactician. he was able to outsmart Batman, which is not an easy thing to do. Granted, he kind of cheated to do so. Hey, shit, you got the job done. Bane is a skilled hand-to-hand combatant, and while he doesn't really follow one specific discipline, he has more of a brawler kind of skill to him. Almost brawler kind of style, and also a commando army like style, a militaristic style. He's proficient in many different weapons, his favorite being that of the knife, the combat knife or hunting knife. However, he can use guns and bows and arrows and various different other things. Um, and in addition to that, Bane has his Venom, which increases his strength tenfolds, makes him incredibly strong, superhuman strength. It gives him a bit of a durability boost, and it gives him a bit of a healing factor. Bane's biggest weaknesses is his dependency on the venom. He is an addict. He needs the venom. Separating him from the venom, and even separating him quickly from the venom, can have a disastrous effect on him psychologically. In addition to that, um, Bane is not always in control of his actions when he has the venom on. He doesn't think as clearly as he normally does. Bane's biggest advantage in this fight is just his tactical mind. He can outsmart Venom. Not the Venom he takes, but the Venom that he has to fight. Bane can outsmart Venom with no problem whatsoever. However, here's the thing. My victory would go to Venom, and this is the reason why. In these situations, these are two individuals coming into contact with each other with no prior knowledge to each other. Well, I think if Bane had prep time, he would at least be able to take out Venom. I think in a random encounter, Venom just has too much to his repertoire. You don't have to be too smart to beat someone up. Venom has enough of a. I do believe actually Bane is stronger than Venom, but Venom has more speed. He has the spider sense to his advantage. And the web slinging, all he has to do is keep his fucking distance, hit him with some webs, come in there, cut off the Venom thing, because I'm sure he would be able to figure that out and then kill Bane. Again, if there was prep time, Bane would win. But in a straight up fight, my victory goes to Venom. So that is that Andrewcutter Battle Royale winner. If you have any suggestions for the Andrewcutter Battle Royale, please post them in the comments. I love taking them and I will use them. On to the questions and answers for this week. You guys can comment or ask questions in my videos, and then I will respond to them in the next video. So let's get things going. First is Soul Drum 86. Hey Andrew, what would you think of a comic book for Power Rangers with a more violent twist? Um, Really? More violent? Power Rangers are a pretty violent and action-packed show to begin with. I think the only thing that keeps it from being overly violent is they don't use blood that much. But they've had characters die, like the Pink Galaxy Ranger or Zordon. They have people slashing each other up with bladed weapons and guns. People have sustained injuries. I know Rocky was paralyzed for a bit. I mean, Power Rangers is pretty damn violent to begin with. Uh, so I don't think a more violent comic needs to be made. Maybe a more mature comic, a comic for the adults, but not more violent because Power Rangers is already a pretty violent thing. X Valis. Arkham Knight was announced, and while I love the Arkham games, the origin wasn't as good. Do you think it's too soon for another Batman game? Yes, I do. I think it's a little too soon. It looks great, but I think there needs to be a cooldown period for two reasons. Number one is because fans need to want to have it. If you do it every year, like freaking Madden or like Call of Duty, there's no great want for it. You're not missing it. Not having something makes the heart grow fonder. I mean, right now I'm starting to get the itch for a new Zelda game on the console because it's been 3 years since Skyward Sword. So it's getting to that point where, hey, I kind of want a new Zelda game. And I'm okay if we don't get it anytime soon, but again, getting stuff so quickly your heart doesn't grow fond from missing it. So that's one reason. Number two is I question its quality because it takes a while for you to develop a game. If you're like shitting one out right after you just released the game, it makes me cock an eyebrow. X Valis also said, also Arkham Knight is right now only going to be to next gen systems. Is your PC gaming or PC, or does it make you think about picking up PS4 or Xbox One? Arkham Knight would not be the camel that would break my back to pick up one of those systems. Probably Assassin's Creed games would make me want to go pick up those systems, but in saying that, here's my ultimate thing. I will eventually be picking up either PS4 or Xbox One. Not for a while, not for maybe a couple years. There one needs to be a substantial amount of games that I would want to pick up. There would be no one game that would be the thing to make me jump over. Number two, there would be need to be a couple of price cuts because those things are so expensive. And eventually, I feel as though a lot of the games that I will be holding out for, like the Assassin's Creed and the Batman games, um, they would. I think they'll eventually be ported to Wii just a little bit later. That's what happens with a lot of things. So, uh, we'll see. But I don't think that's enough to make me want to pick up the game. Plus, I have such a huge backlog of games right now that I can wait. It's no big deal. Uh, Evil Mastermind, top 5 DC superheroes who died when the New 52 was created. Here are some examples: Jade or Obsidian. Characters that didn't make it over into the New 52. My top 5. Well, number 1 would be Donna Troy. But let's see who else. Let me scrounge into my head. Cassandra Cain is another one. Donna Troy, Cassandra Cain. Um, just readjusting myself. Donna Troy, Cassandra Cain. I wasn't really a big Obsidian or Jade fan, so I'm not really going to count them on there. Blue Beetle in general. I know Ted Kord's coming back, but he's an example. I'm not going to say Wally West because is coming back, so um, we know officially he's going to be coming back. But who else? Because a lot of the characters from the New 52 have started coming over. We're getting spoiler back, so that's something. I mean, and I'm pretty sure Donna Troy is coming back from all the hints we've been getting. So I don't know, tough one. If you ask me right now, the 5 characters in general would have been Wally, Donna, Cassandra, Stephanie, and Ted. But again, we're getting back a lot of them. So I think the discussion on who hasn't showed up in the New 52 isn't quite as large anymore. I think it was a big thing when the New 52 happened, but DC's starting to give us what we want. So I hope that answered your question. Nick Lenz, hey Andrew, 3 questions for you. First, which Batman series? Well, you always have 3 questions, Nick, and I love that. First, which Batman series would you like to have an annual that hasn't had one yet? We can't say Nightwing because that's getting canceled. Batgirl's had an annual. Talon's getting canceled. Has Birds of Prey had an annual? Because I wouldn't mind that. Just thinking. Catwoman's had annual. Batwoman's had annual. Superman, Batman's had annual. Dark Knight's getting canceled. Detective Comics had annual. Batman Robin's had annual. Batman's had annual. So yeah, Birds of Prey is really the only thing that's left that's not getting canceled. Second, do you think that soon in Earth 2 second, do you think that soon in Earth 2 after Superman Man of Terror storyline that we will see the formation in the JSA? Oh, so you're saying is after the story arc with Superman the Man of Terror that we'll get the JSA? Actually, you know what? Think about it now. That would make sense. That would be the catalyst that would be needed to actually make this Justice Society team. Number 3. Third, would you like to see the Tale of TMNT series, the Tales of TMNT series come back as an ongoing for IDW and to serve the same function as when it was published from Mirage Comics? You mean the TMNT series? Um, yeah, it would be nice, but I think they should focus all their effort right now in the main series to keep it as good and fantastic as it's been. That's just my opinion. Battle Royale suggestions: Bane versus Red or Green Hulk. I can't do any of those because Hulk has already been used and Bane has already been used. Green Arrow versus Hawkeye, and the Thing from Fantastic Four versus Clayface. Some good ideas. Derek Lasari, I'm sorry I screwed up your name. I heard Scott Snyder say Hush was going to play a big part in 2014. How do you think he's going to fit in? I think Hush is going to be the main villain of Batman Eternal. Something's going on with Batman Eternal. I think Hush is going to be the one that's going to be screwing around with everyone. Eric Simmons. What are some Marvel titles or characters that you're interested in learning more about? Not too many. I mean, I'm giving Spider-Man a chance, but here's the thing, and it's nothing against Marvel or people that enjoy Marvel. I just don't really care about their characters that much. I enjoy Captain America. I enjoy Thor. I enjoy Wolverine to a point. I enjoy She-Hulk and the Fantastic Four. But besides that, like none of them really overly appeal to me. Like someone can hand me a Scarlet Spider. I know Scarlet Spider is an incredibly popular character among a niche group, or maybe even not just Scarlet Spider, but like Deadpool. I have no real interest in Deadpool. Deadpool is a huge fan favorite. Not my thing. So I don't know if there's anything else I would really want to taste from Marvel. You guys, I mean, I'm surprised I'm reading it now, but hey, it is what it is. X Valis, one more question. I'm thinking of becoming a YouTube partner, and I, like you, work crazy hours and probably will be able to do 1 or 2 videos a week. I was wondering how much money would a newcomer make for a YouTube partnership? It depends on your subscribers and your viewer count. That's how they calculate it. I think it's for every 1,000 subscribers, no, 1,000 views on a video, you get like 2.27 $2.27. I forget the exact equation. I stopped thinking about that stuff a long time ago because I haven't even changed it to my account where I can get my money. Shazam! So yeah. So I would say this. You're probably not gonna make much. I don't even make that much. I think in theory I make maybe $300 a month off this. I need to just set it up so I can get that money. But that's about it. So don't do this for the money. Have it as a nice little backup and incentive, but do it because you enjoy it. But yeah, if you ever need help with anything, let me know, and I will be glad to help you out. And Green Arrow Hunter, hey Andrew, of all the Batman fan films, which one would you consider the best to capture the essence of Batman? That's a good question, one of which I can't provide a good answer because I haven't really watched many Batman fan films. Uh, Although there was one, and I forget what it was called, that was pretty good. I did enjoy the one where he fought Predator, an alien, or just Predator. That was pretty good. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one because I haven't watched enough of those. And that is all for the comments. So I'm going to end this video here. If you have any questions or comments, just post them down below. All my comics I bought at Comically Speaking. They're linked to their websites down there. It's a great place to go to get your comics. They have never had something that I haven't been looking for. So, going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.